What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Now, in this one, I want to talk about something that I think everyone should know about, everybody should do, which is track their net worth. And I think people tend to not do that because they feel like they know it's not going to be positive. If you're at a positive net worth, you are ahead of the field. You are ahead of a lot of other people because there are even people that are in their 40s that are still at a negative net worth. And it means that you're doing something right. That if you decided to sell everything and all that, you could still, be on your feet and you won't owe anybody any money, right? When you have a car loan, you have, a mortgage, depending on the increase in your property value. When you have debts, like credit card debts and stuff like that, it can really eat away at what you have that you feel like is a positive. So anything that's in your bank account, anything that's in investments, and you want to make sure that you find the right balance so that you're not overspending. Because if you're ever at a negative net worth, then that means that you are overspending. So let's go into my net worth. Let me show you guys my banking, my investments, my other assets, debts, and then get to the final net worth. Now, this is by no means any way to like rub it in and say like this is how much money I have, because it's not necessarily saying that. I don't have really any of this money, or most of the money I don't have in cash. So it's not like, oh, I have this much. It's just I'm very happy and I feel like I accomplished something. The fact that we could get to this spot. Now, this also comes before I have to pay taxes, quarterly taxes two more times. So I feel as though we still are going to have some that comes out, but also money that still comes in during that time period. So, anyways, let's talk about my net worth, guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, feel free to check out any of the links that are down below. It does help out the channel and all of that. Now, I'm gonna start out with banking, right? Very simple. Get right to the point. Banking. I bank with uh, two banks here. Let me go ahead and go here. I'm gonna go every month and then show you guys how it changes. But I bank with PSECU and Ally, and right now I have about 30,000 in PSECU, and I have 20,000 in Ally. Now I know people are gonna come at me that are all about getting the most out of your money, and they're like, "Why is that not invested?" I understand where you're coming from. I always like to keep rainy day funds in my bill accounts as well as my funding accounts just in case. And there's always a revolving amount of money that does come in there and go out. So it's something where I need to keep a certain base point. And, tens of thousands is definitely where that stands to last me if, let's say, all fails and I end up losing all types of revenue that comes in, which hopefully doesn't happen. But let's say I lose all my revenue and I can't get any revenue, I can still definitely survive for a year plus if I spent just from my bills and just a budget perspective there. So I could survive just off of that money that is in there. So that's what I want to have, as well as having money for taxes. So I keep 50,000 total that's in there in both accounts. Now let's get into my investments. Investments for me, I have four different accounts. I have a Robinhood account, which is my dividend portfolio. I have a Webull account, which is more of my long-term, individual stocks, growth stocks. I also have a cryptocurrency portfolio that's sitting at the most right now, and then also Fidelity, which is honestly just the kids' 529 accounts that continue to get funded, every single month. So you're gonna see I have about $110,000 in Robinhood in my dividend portfolio, which consistently grows. That's a long-term portfolio, as well as the Webull portfolio that is long-term. Crypto, that's been growing, and hopefully it can grow to a lot more. And Fidelity, that's going to consistently grow as I continue to add money. So a total that's there 330 or 322,726.24. That's all like actual numbers that are there that came from my balances, right? My accounts. Now we're going to get into a point to where right now I am rounding. I didn't go in here and check well, I did check it, the total number, and I just didn't copy it. I just rounded it, and then the next month I'm gonna do it as what the actual number is. So we have other assets that I have, which I have collectibles that are worth about 3,000. I'm only using just the collectibles I have over here. I have a bunch of different equipment that probably cost multiple tens of thousands of dollars, but I'm not including that in there because one, I don't want to go through all of that, and two, I feel as though I will always keep that there. If all else fails, I continue to make videos, I continue to do content, which means I need all of that equipment. So that's not something that I'm looking at ever selling in any instance. Then we have Tesla, right? I have a $55,000 Tesla. Technically, it's worth about 60 something, but I'm factoring in depreciation as soon as I drive it off the lot. Let's say that that's the case. I haven't got it yet. I'm getting it on Monday. But we have a Kia that's worth $47,000, and then we have my house, which is 357,300. The total there is 462,822. Now, this is a large portion of my assets that I have because, the house is a large portion of that. And we'll factor that all into it. Now we get into the bad stuff. We get into the debts, right? And for debts, you're going to see that I have the Tesla, which is a $30,000 loan or financing, and then we also have the house, which is $165,000, and then student loans. I have $22,000, a total of $217,000. Now, if we do the total assets, $836,000 minus the $217,000, we come to $619,124.22. Now, I am absolutely grateful that I can be at this spot. If you are anywhere in the green, if you are positive, that is a good thing. You don't have to be to this level in order to say, "Oh, I'm profitable." Oh, sorry, let me get back up here. You don't have to say, "Oh, I need as much as Matt does or has because that's the only way I'm profitable." That's not the case, right? It took me a while to get to this point, a lot of discipline to get me to this point, and even now, I still cringe at having any type of debt, right? I don't want to have the Tesla, the home, the student loans, but I know that those are such small percentages when it comes to the interest that I'm paying, that I can gain so much in the markets if I decided to put that money into the market. So I'm just paying it off as time goes on, but it is eating away at me to just get rid of those debts. It just feels better to know that you do not owe anything, because the revenue coming in isn't always going to stay at that level. It may increase, but it also might insanely decrease. And if it does, you want to make sure you're in the best situation to where you do not owe anybody outside of what your bills are money. So that's something that still eats away at me, and I just don't like debts. So even though it seems like the logical thing to do, instead of taking 10,000 or 22,000 and throwing it in my investment account, I kind of want to take that 22,000 and just pay off the student loans, right? Even though it's only a 4% loan and I'm gaining an average of 10% over the last year in my dividend portfolio. So it's iffy. But what my goal is to do is to grow my net worth to $1 million, hopefully by the end of 2025, which I don't think is ridiculous. They say that your first 100,000 is the easy, or is the hardest to gain, and then after that it's very, very easy. I can tell you when I got to 100,000 that it definitely became easier. I felt like things compounded better, and I started to look at a lot of the debts that I had and started to chip away at those debts a lot more. Yes, I didn't take a crazy amount. Like I didn't want to take 100,000 and just pay off a debt. But if it was at a point to where my debt was a 7% interest rate, like my other student loans that got consolidated, I had to pay those off. 7%, that's not always a given that you're going to make over 7% every single year. So I had to pay those off. I had to pay off the car. That was 7% as well. And even up to like 5%. I'm not really a big fan of having that because it's very iffy, So that's my net worth. Hopefully you guys got the point of making this video. It's not because I just want to throw the fact that I have money at you guys. That's not the case. It's about being positive in the end. And I would love to get it to a net worth of $1 million. And I understand that majority of that net worth comes from, you know, the ownership of the cars, which depreciate, ownership of the house, which should increase in value. But if we just look at my investments as well as my cash, I'm still over what my debts are, right? So 300, if I did the math, it's like 372,000 for cash and investments, and then 217 for total debts. So either way, I'm still at a positive, even if I take out the collectibles and the car and the house. Some people like to take those things out. So maybe I should, and maybe I should do it or take on that mission to say, okay, let's see. So if I take this out completely, and this would be my mission to get this over $1 million worth of a net worth. That could be the game plan, because the house is just gonna, you know, increase in value, and I am gonna take out those debts, and I do want to diminish those debts. I want to take those out completely. So we're gonna see that decrease over time. I think that's gonna have to be it. And I'll add another line saying like debts or assets plus, you know, I don't know, other assets. Something like that, and then assets minus other assets, and then we'll make sure that this is like kind of the final number that continues to grow, because that's 156,000. That makes it a little bit more difficult, because property value, that might be 400,000 in the next year, and then in the next year after that might be 450,000. Who really knows? The market has been crazy fluctuating, or it might even be less. Who knows? But the point is that 350,000 makes a huge difference in what your net worth actually is. 462,000 definitely makes a huge difference as well. So again, I'm going to take those out and not include them for the next one, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to update you guys every month in, you know, October, November, December, and show you where I am. And if I'm at a negative, I might end up taking some of this money, and some of this money ends up going towards taxes, and then we don't have a lot. Well, it won't go towards taxes. Well, actually, September is the month, isn't it? Anyways, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out any of the links down below. It does help out the channel. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.